Good evening, and welcome to Wednesday Matters, because it does. Not that every day doesn't matter, but Wednesdays are special to us that hang around in this particular spot on Wednesday evenings at 7 o'clock. There's something about being part of a spiritual family, and I think we are that, and we welcome new members all the time. Anyone who thinks just maybe there might be a place for them in the universe, and that and there might just be a power for good that they can use it, uh, are welcome here. That's what we're really all about. Our our basis is in the science of mind, and we are a metaphysical group talking about how to make our lives better, how to make our world better, how to make our communities and our families function better, um, through allowing Spirit to express through us, as us, in the best possible way. So that's what we're here. That's what we're all about. And we invite you, if you're new, to jump on in and let us know you're here. And if you're one of the regulars, well, let us know you're here. Hi, Jennifer. Glad you're here. Welcome Wednesday. Yes, indeed that. How are you doing, my darling? I know it's been a pretty awesome couple of weeks for you, so how are you holding up? And Lainey's here. Happy Wednesday. How was your mother's birthday? Mama's 93rd. Did I remember that right? How was the trip? How was the party? How's Mama, and how are you after all of that? Let me know. Or am I ahead of schedule? Let me know that too. I sometimes jump in a little ahead on things. I get them in my mind and get excited about them, and then sometimes I think they're been and gone before they've even had a chance to get started. So let me know how you are doing. I have a dry throat a little bit tonight, so bear with me if I keep sucking on this lovely can of seltzer water flavored with blood orange and orange juice, organic, from Trader Joe's. There, I've done a commercial for them. I'm feeling better about that. I don't know why. Yeah, I'm not sure we ever catch up on rest, Jennifer. I was reading something the other day about that just said, get to the best of your ability, go to bed at the same time and get up at the same time every day, and sleeping in late to try to make up for lost doesn't work. And so it just went on and on and on. It depressed me. I kept thinking, one of these days I'll just stay in bed until noon, and um and it basically said, no, don't do that. Not going to do you any good. Lainey had a good family visit. It was the 93rd, yeah. I bet you are glad to be home. Yeah. Much as those trips can be wonderful and you can make connections you can't make any other way, and it was your mother's 93rd birthday, which is a pretty big deal. Uh, it's good to come home. So there's no place like home. Dorothy was right. You don't even have to kick your heels together 3 times to acknowledge it. There's just no place like home. No matter how wonderful a trip is, no matter how great the place you've been, no matter how wonderful the experience, it's just always good to be home and sleep in your own bed, isn't it? Isn't that just the best? I don't know why, but I know it's true. Aw, Jennifer, what are we going to do about that? You're just tired. Oh, good, and Ayla was in town for Mother's Day. Yeah, you've had a whole lot of family stuff going on this month, haven't you? Wow. Chrissy and I, my daughter and I, are going to actually have coffee together next Friday, the 21st, whenever that is. Um, and we haven't done. We used to do it every month regularly. We had a coffee date, and we'd meet midway between where she lives and where I live, and just spend a few hours being together. And there's been this little thing that's kind of slowed down a lot of that in everybody's lives. So we are both double vaccinated now, and we're going to have coffee on the 21st. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It's fabulous. She's fabulous. I did good, daughter. I'm really pleased. Okay, Lainey, on your Facebook page, do we have pictures of Ayla being there? Or pictures of Grandma's party? What do we have? I need to know because I will go look as minute we get off the air. I will. Time spent with moms and daughters is just always good time, isn't it? And since I know both of your daughters and have known them since they were mini people, I know how special time with them must be. So I'm happy for both of you. Yay! Yay! Lots of yaying going on tonight. It's a good night for yay. Tired though we may be. Huh? Today was just one of those non-stop days. Not bad. Not bad. And I wouldn't even say it was that busy, but it was non-stop. One thing led to another, led to another, led to another. It was like, okay, catch your breath, change your shoes if you need to do that, and get moving. So, and we have a new handyman. And at our age, we need a handyman all the time. And we had the most wonderful handyman in Carlos. He was fabulous, and he's been our handyman here in Ventura since literally the day we moved in. And he's had a few health challenges and whatnot, and he just said, he's getting too old to work, so he was kind of retiring, and we had to find a new handyman, and I swear the angels brought him to us. I just swear I did. His name is Santos, which means saint, and he is. And he's been here all day, non-stop. Talk about non-stop. Doing, those lists you make, and then you think, well, gee, if we get that done, maybe we could even do this and do... He's done it all. Hit the whole list and all the add-ons. He's just amazing. God sent. God sent. Santos. How could anybody think that you're too much, Jennifer? How? She's young. She'll get it. Of course you're madly in love with them. They're both fabulous. They're both fabulous. And Lainey's done a fabulous job with Ayla. And I think I've done a fabulous job with my daughter. I kind of feel like she's done a fabulous job with her, and I just was still sort of along for the ride. I think I'd like to be her when I grow up. If I ever. I'm not sure I want to do that. So, hold on, my hair is getting in my eyes. There we go. Yeah, it's a little too much. I don't know. Anyway, how is everyone tonight? Any special prayer requests? I like to start saying that early so that you have plenty of time to think about it. Is there anything that your little life needs or heart desires, or just a wannabe? Let me know. I can pray for you generally, but it's really kind of fun to have something specific to work on. So if you have something specific that you would like changed, altered, brought into, taken out of your life, let me know. And I'll put you in my prayer list. I like having you there. Makes me happy. So don't be shy. Just jump right on in and let me know what you need to make your life better. I don't know if Dana's going to be with us this evening or not, but she has surgery on Friday. They changed the date from last week to this week. So she has surgery Friday. I believe Tina's going to be with her at the hospital, and probably when she first comes home. She's got it. She's an organized lady, so she's got it pretty well organized, but still. So if you would like to put her into your prayer list, I'm sure she would appreciate that. Okay, I got that, Jen. Jennifer. There. And Lainey, if there's anything for you, do you need to play catch up yet? You've been busy between mothers and daughters. There's a song title in there someplace, isn't there? I'm sure there must be. So, one more sip here. This is helping for some reason. So maybe Trader Joe's isn't so bad after all. Praying for Dana. Thank you, Lainey. Much appreciated. Yes. Hey, you guys are right on it. Yay. Thank you. Thank you. I know she'd appreciate it. Little love never hurt anybody. And prayers certainly never hurt. So we'll support her in that. Lainey, I'm still thinking about your comment that the smell of exhaust even was good at LAX. I don't know why that tickles me, but it does. It's just good to be home. Just good to be home with all of the strange smells and attractions and tastes and feelings and yeah. Okay, Lainey, we got it. I enjoy gardening too, but it's getting harder and harder to bend. When I was doing yoga on a regular basis, I was bending like crazy and doing fine and didn't even realize it was a problem. But one of the other things the pandemic affected was my yoga classes. They shut them down, and I can feel the difference. And we tried doing it at home, but it's just, you can't. Listen to me. I didn't make a regular practice of doing it at home. We got started doing it, but it was, on a video, and it just wasn't the same. I missed my teacher, who has since now sold her studio and moved to Oregon. Yeah, not Washington, Oregon. Anyway, I miss her. She was wonderful. She knew how to coax me along. Because you probably have recognized this over the years since you've known me for a long time, but I'm not the most physical person in the entire world. And exercising is not a joy for me. So, so I needed my teacher. I'll find another one once things open up a little bit more. There's something about having to show up, signing up for a class and having to show up, that just works well for me. It's that commitment, I guess. Doing the same thing at home to a video that I can do later or on another day, just, I put it off. So, all right, enough about me and my lack of exercise. But boy, do I get to the pain-free body. I get that. I get that. And so I'll happily pray for you and maybe even throw me into that mix as well. And Jennifer. Okay. All right. Just us girls and our pain-free bodies. I like it. I like it. Hold on. There are times when I think that whoever called it, the golden years, never got there. Chair yoga. Huh. Let's see. Wow. That's a thought. I'm impressed, Lainey. I'm impressed. Shame me into doing it. Please. Please, whatever incentive I need. I felt better when I was doing it, and I don't always remember that. So, why don't I talk about what I was going to talk about? Shall I do that? Yeah, that's what you came for. So, let me... Jennifer and I were talking last week about looking at the format that we have created for Wednesday nights and Sunday. And I'd like us collectively to give some thought to how we can best serve everyone. Those of us that are regulars, as well as those we have yet to meet. One of the things that keeps kind of running through my mind is that maybe a slightly different format for Wednesday than what we're doing on Sunday. Or actually what I was thinking was a slightly different format for Sunday. Wednesday feels intimate and close and family-like. And I wonder if that might be a little threatening to new people. I don't know, maybe. But if we had something that looked a little bit more stylized, a little bit more formatted on Sundays, and then we could invite people who haven't been here before to come on Sundays and have it feel a little bit more like what they're used to, rather than like they are breaking into a clique or a group that is already so close that they feel funny in it. Just put that into your thoughts, would you? Truth is, I've got a vision for this group, and it's actually pretty simple. I see it as being the spiritual home for people who have so proved the presence of God in their lives that they are beacons of light for others. You too absolutely qualify. I see it as a spiritual community that is filled with people who are whole and healed and so overflowing with good that even a passing stranger on the street would say, I want what she's got, or I want what he's got. I see this as a place that is home to people who are so happy, so busy, so successfully living their lives that others flock to our cyber gatherings to catch the spirit that lives here. And I see it as a warm and welcoming place for those who are not yet here, but will be, because it is clearly a place that helps to create happy, busy, successful people. So, how do we go about becoming that? You know, we're all familiar, I'm sure, with the saying the devil is in the details. And there are times when that seems not exactly wrong. But you know, the quote itself is ever so slightly wrong. We've all said it, haven't we? I know I have. The devil is in the details. But how well do we know who and what we're quoting? The devil is in the details is, in fact, not the original quote at all. It's a strange twist on a much earlier saying that actually states the exact opposite. God is in the details. The original phrase is frequently attributed to the German architect Mies van der Rohe, but while he was surely detail-oriented, this connection has since been called into question. The 18th edition of Bartlett's Familiar Quotations identifies the source as anonymous, but notes that it has been attributed to Gustave Flaubert, who wrote Le bon Dieu est dans les détails, which means God is in the details, and the 17th century humorist Caspar Barlius, who said God hides in the smallest places. Mies van der Rohe, Flaubert, Barlius. It seems that a number of history's great thinkers disagree with the more recent transformation of the idiom to the devil is in the details. Non, non, mes amis. Le bon Dieu est dans le détail. The devil, the problem, the challenge, the evil little thing, is in our observation of the supposed facts of the details. And the good God, le bon Dieu, the creative motivating force of the universe, is in the factual details. Here's what I mean. When we get all caught up in the appearances, the supposed facts of whatever it is that's going on, we're headed down a slippery slope. We are so convinced that the problem is not only real, but unsolvable, that in our minds we set the problem in concrete. Nothing, we say, can be done about it, because we can't see a way out. We've closed the door on the solution or the remedy or the healing and settled on having the problem. So the evil persists. To a great extent because we have named it, claimed it, and declared it not only real, but permanent. When we are willing to acknowledge the problem, but claim for it not the evil therein, but the presence of God. Not the guy in the cloud, not some judgmental super being who is out there somewhere. And if you've read the book of Job, who is also perfectly capable of creating suffering and evil just to make a point, not him, but the presence of the creative, motivating force of the universe. When we are willing to acknowledge that in whatever is going on, then we open the door to discovery, to remedy, to healing, to solution of whatever it is that ails us. A door that we proclaim shut may or may not be, but might as well be if we're not even willing to attempt to open it. When we claim possibility, when we are open to what may even seem miraculous, then we open ourselves and the situation to events and solutions and possibilities that may look miraculous, but are more likely simply solutions that we did not see before. It all starts with the premise that God, again, not the guy on the throne up in the sky, but the creative, motivating force of the universe, that God is as present today as it ever has been. And that to that force, the creative, motivating force of the universe, all things are possible. And that its natural tendency is for good. That's when things begin to happen. Here's my premise. God, I'm going to say it again, the creative, motivating force of the universe is all there is. And yes, I'm going to say that a lot because it is the ultimate truth that changes everything in your life. Everything is that force expressing. Everyone is that force expressing. All that there is that force expressing. And if you are paying attention, you should have figured out by now that somewhere between everything and everyone and all there is, you are. You gotta be. The natural tendency of the force is to good. Le bon Dieu. Its natural tendency is toward healing and wholeness and solution. You cut your finger, it heals. Your heart gets broken, in time it heals. The forest burns, and in time it heals, all by itself. Humanity decimates the planet, and humanity goes away because there's nothing to sustain it. And then in time, the planet heals. The natural tendency of life is to heal, to make good again. So why can't we seem to heal our bodies? Why do we not seem to be able to heal our problems, our challenges, to make things good again? It's a really good question. I believe it is because we do not really believe we can. Or we like to think we can. We want to believe we can. But then there is all that proof out there that we can't. The x-rays, the tests, the bank balance, the barrage of bad news. What the doctor says, what the lawyer says, what the television says. Incidentally, have you heard about the newest disease? It's called foxitis. It's a disease that numbs the brain and is being blamed for the January 6th insurrection by some people. The theory is that Fox News, having bent the minds of all those poor, not thinking for themselves people who believed everything that they heard on Fox News, created the insurrection. And what they believe is the daily dose of very unbalanced news. But it's seductive. All the sad, sordid details. And before any of us starts feeling really superior, the disease can affect all of us, whether we get our news from Fox or any one of the other major news sources, or our friends and families. We don't mean to lose our minds, but we get caught up in the appearances, and without meaning to, we begin to live out what we believe. And we get attention, even if it's only our own. Or we seek it out, all the time believing that what we believe is true, even if it isn't. And most importantly, more often than not, we do not believe or stop to remember that right there in the middle of everything, at the center of what appears to be the problem, even there is God. Even there is the power to overcome, to change, to transform, to heal. And according to the spiritual law, if we do not believe, then it is not so for us. Because that is how it works, isn't it? It is done unto us as we believe, even if our belief is way off center. Le bon Dieu, in its wisdom, has graced us with the greatest gift imaginable, the gift of transformation. But we must choose to believe in it and use it. So, here's my question. What is going on in your life that seems stuck or wrong or impossible to fix? And what might be changed if you could see it in another way and bring the resources of the creative, motivating force of the universe into it? That's my question for you today. What, impossible though it may seem, might be changed? What would you have be changed? What, even though it appears to be impossible to change, but that you deeply desire to change, what is happening in your life that might actually be changed if you could only come to see God, the creative, motivating force of the universe, in it? What do you really want to change, to heal, to transform? But recognize, or are willing to consider, that in spite of your wanting to believe, you are having trouble seeing le bon Dieu, the good, in it. The situation might be yours. It might be someone close to you. Are you willing to consider that perhaps right in the middle of the challenge, there is everything you need to change it? Because God, say it with me, the creative, motivating force of the universe, is everywhere, in everything, all of the time. I've mentioned several times Emily Cady's book, Lessons in Truth, which is kind of the unity equivalent of Science of Mind. A friend presented me with another of Cady's books some time ago. It's called How I Used Truth. And what he said to me at the time was that it might be an even better tool because Cady writes about how she applied the truth she was teaching to specific circumstances. He wasn't wrong. Not only does she talk about specific cases where she applies the truth, but she also calls to task those who would only talk about the truth, as though they had a corner on it. Those who would tell others how to live their lives, but who are not, in fact, applying it to their own lives. So here's the lesson I learned. You can know all the truth you can absorb. You can read about it, you can talk about it, you can put the book on your coffee table, or you can get the audio version and play it on a loop all night long. You can even become a zealot about it and take your zealousness to the streets or the Capitol. But until you use the truth, until you have the courage to put aside your doubts or your fears, or your unwillingness to look foolish and really use it, the truth isn't going to do too much to transform your life. In the conclusion to The Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes writes, "What the world needs is spiritual conviction, followed by spiritual experience. I would rather see a student of this science prove its principle than to have him repeat all the words of wisdom that have ever been uttered. It is far easier to teach the truth than it is to practice it. But the practice of truth is personal to each. And in the long run, no one can live our life for us. To each is given what he needs, and all the gifts of heaven come alike to all. How we shall use these gifts is all that matters. To hold one's thoughts steadfastly to the constructive, to that which endures, and to the truth may not be easy in a rapidly changing world. But to the one who makes the attempt, much is guaranteed. The essence of spiritual mind healing and of all true religious philosophy is an inner realization of the presence of perfection. It is the hope of heaven, the voice of God proclaiming, I am that which thou art, and thou art that which I am. Emily Cady writes, there is a straight line of absolute truth which each one must walk if he would have demonstration. The slightest swerving in either direction from this line results in non-demonstration. No matter how earnest or intense one may be, the line is this: there is only God. There is not God in a body. There is not God and a circumstance. There is not God in any sort of trouble. There is only God. Through and through all things. All else, she writes, is a lie. God is. God is all. God is manifest because there is nothing else to manifest. God is all. Go there today. Believe that today. Just for today. Believe that. And when you see a difference, and you will, if you really believe, then just for tomorrow, and one day at a time, God, say it with me, the creative, motivating force of the universe will prove itself in your life. Flaubert and his friends were right. It's not the devil. It's God that is in the details. The details of everyday life, of every life, of your life. And when you believe that, when you believe that the creative, motivating force of the universe is in your life for good, your life will be transformed. And honestly now, honestly, isn't that what you want? So, to go back to the beginning, I'm going to ask you to put these gatherings in your prayers so that we might together be guided to do and to become whatever it is that Spirit wants us to do as us, through us. And honestly now, isn't that what we all want? Isn't it? And now that we know that God is in the details, it ought to be easy to figure out the rest, don't you think? So I'm going to claim for us tonight that we are and we know exactly what we need to be to gather around us not just like-minded people, but people who are willing to become like-minded people, spirit-centered people. I claim that for us, that that we know and are guided to know even more exactly what that is. And so it is. All right, so what have you been talking about? Happy Wednesday, Heidi. Glad you're here. And here we are. So, my friends, I'm going to ask once again because I like to ask and because I keep getting more answers when I ask. Prayers. What would you like prayer for? And how can I support you in that? Thank you, Lainey. I know your word has power. So you claiming it with me makes it just that much stronger. You know, the old saying, since I'm working with old sayings tonight, you know, where two or more are gathered, there in the midst of them am I. And I think, you know, where one is, there God is. Period. Doesn't take two. But what I really do believe is that, for lack of a better phrase, the more the merrier, that where two or more are gathered, there's more power. It's multiplied by two or three or four or more. So, yay! Let's get more going. Oh, I love that, Lainey. Happy Wednesday, Jefferson. Thank you for being here, darling. It always makes me happy when Jefferson's here. Oh, you guys are just, you're making me feel real good here. Thank you. Yay. So we just be's what we be. Yeah. And God's in the details, so the details will work out. We'll find the right way to reach people. Spirit's way. Ooh. I like that too. Hold on, I'm going to write that down. I don't know why, but I'm going to do something with that. Love it, love it, love it. Lainey, from your mouth to the world. A lot of God out there. All right, my darlings. Hold on, grab one more sip of my wetting my throat juice. It's got bubbles in it. Okay, that was 2 sips. I cheated, didn't I? All right. Last call for prayer requests. Last call. I should have a bell.
Sharon Worrell needs prayer. She's having big surgery on Thursday and Friday.
2 days?
Yeah. There's 2 procedures.
Okay. Okay, we're going to add a friend into the mix here who's also having two surgeries, Thursday and Friday, on her eyes.
Yep.
Okay, we do that. Oh, Lainey, that's beautiful. What mother would not be proud to receive that message? More and more I find that more and more I'm like you, and I couldn't be happier. Wow, that's pretty cool. That's very cool. She's very cool. All my girls. All my girls. Little girls, little people that are now all taller than I am, which is a good thing, I think. Yeah, Lainey, I think I would have been in tears too. That's awesome. You did real good with that girl. And I had a chance to connect with Jennifer's girls last week, and they're both just amazing. Just amazing. You know, those of you who put in time in children's church back in the day made a real difference in some lives. Thank you for that. I know I said thank you at the time, but you know, it's decades later, it's really showing up. They were good kids. Now they're good people. Good adults, having children, getting married, having children, writing cards like the one that Ayla wrote. Wow. I'd give you a standing ovation, but if I stand up, my chair goes away, and then I can't sit back down again, and you'd be stuck looking at my shirt. Oh. Yeah, you guys did an amazing job. There were times when I honestly felt like I was just kind of keeping the adults captured upstairs so that you could teach the kids the real stuff downstairs. So, thank you. I appreciated you then. I do even more now. You did great work. You're doing great work in the world. All right. All right. I'm going to pray now. Won't you join me? Close your eyes if that feels comfortable. If not, just stop. Just soft focus. Let your attention go within. That's where the power is. And while the presence of God is so obvious in the universe around us, it is just as obviously and intimately and wondrously within us. All that there is God. Le bon Dieu. The good. All that there is that. that presence, that power, that creative force. And it abides within each one of us. We are not now, nor have we ever been, alone or separate from it. And we know that when we stop and think about it. When we remember the countless times in all of our lives when it seemed the miraculous had happened. And then we get distanced from those things and begin to think that it was just a coincidence. It just sort of happened. Let us remember, let us recapture that initial feeling, that knowing in the moment that something godlike had happened. And let us remember that and keep that feeling and that knowing and not fall prey to the seduction of the world to disclaim it. All that there is. Everyone, everything, everywhere, all the time. All that there is God. And that means that each of us is that. It must. We cannot be separate from all that there is. We are here and now and part of the all. And that means that God, in addition to being all around and about us, is deeply within us. And that seemingly miraculous power is entrenched in our DNA. And so knowing that, I know that the power of the universe now moves in and through each one of our lives to create healing and solution and joy and wonders and good. So I know for Dana, successful surgery and a speedy healing. I know that it is not complicated, but that getting well is simply a natural act. And I know for Jennifer, deeper sleep, healing sleep, regenerative sleep, and improved executive function. In a pain-free body. And I know for Lainey as well, a pain-free body. I know that she can do what she loves to do in this world, that she moves gracefully through this world, and that grace becomes her. And with it, pain leaves, finding no welcome spot within her. I know that she can move and do and garden, and her body responds with gratitude and ease and painlessness. I know for Sharon Worrell, successful surgeries on Thursday and Friday. I know that the God within her eyes responds and heals and clears her vision. It makes her well and whole again. I know that these gatherings on Wednesday and Sunday reach an ever greater and larger audience because the truth will make itself known. And those who can be uplifted and encouraged and healed by what we do here find us and stay and listen. And discover that their minds are the pathway to their spirit. And make a home here as well. I know this message is heard by all who would benefit from it. And so we keep doing the work so that they might hear and be healed and become part of the healing process. And I know that all of those who have desires in their hearts and whose bodies are seeking healing find their way. I know that our intention is to work in the world for good. And I am grateful that we have the opportunity to do this. I am grateful for every answered prayer and for every prayer request that opens yet another mind for healing. Grateful, truly, truly grateful. And we let it be so. And so it is. Well, another Wednesday night because Wednesday matters. I love you. I look forward to seeing you all again on Sunday. We will be here, as they say, with bells on. And why not? Be here Sunday, be here again next Wednesday night, and bring friends. We'll figure it all out together. Yes, indeed, Lainey. Yes. Thank you, darling. I love you too. And Jen, take care of yourself and that guy of yours. Jefferson, if you're still here, I love you. I love it when you drop by. And for all of you who check in and don't say anything, we love you too. Come back again soon. Have a good evening. Much love. Much love to all of you. I don't think we have a closing song.
We do not.
We do not. So pick out your favorite song and listen to it tonight and let it make you feel good. Okay? And remember, God's in the details. I love you.